The studio lights blazed like twin suns above the stage, their heat magnified by the tense air. Millions of viewers were tuned in, waiting for the clash they'd been promised, Charlie Kirk versus Sunny Hostin. This wasn't just another TV segment, it felt like a battlefield of ideas. The hush before the broadcast was electric, like the seconds before a thunderstorm splits the sky. Every eye was locked on the two figures at the center of the storm. Charlie sat upright, his expression calm but unreadable, his hands clasped loosely on the desk. Across from him, Sunny leaned slightly forward, her eyes narrowing as she prepared for what she knew would be a verbal duel. For both, this was more than just a televised debate, it was about deeply held beliefs, reputations, and the trust of their audiences. As the cameras rolled, Sunny began her line of questioning with sharp precision. She challenged Charlie's views, laying out her points with conviction. Her words were laced with frustration, reflecting the struggles of viewers who felt unheard. But Charlie didn't flinch. He had come prepared, not just with statistics and anecdotes, but with a deeper story, one of personal experience and human stakes. Then, a turning point. Instead of firing back with insults or political slogans, Charlie spoke of a moment from his childhood, a time when his family had struggled financially and had almost lost everything. He described the humiliation of watching his parents work double shifts, the shame of having to borrow from neighbors, and the resilience it forged in him. The audience quieted, hearing something they hadn't expected: vulnerability. Sunny's expression softened for just a second. She had her own past, too, a story of overcoming prejudice and loss, a fight to prove herself in rooms where she wasn't wanted. For a flicker of a moment, the two weren't enemies but fellow travelers, scarred by different roads. But the debate rolled on, the tension rebuilding as the discussion moved to social issues, freedom, and justice. Charlie's words began to resonate with the crowd, not because he won a debate point but because he rooted his arguments in empathy and lived experience. Even when Sunny pressed harder, he stayed steady, acknowledging her points where he could and explaining his differences where he couldn't. The energy shifted. The crowd murmured, social media lit up. People weren't just hearing another shouting match, they were seeing two strong personalities navigate conflict without losing their humanity. Then came the climactic moment. Sunny, frustrated, threw a final challenge. If you care so much about these people you say you represent, what are you actually doing for them? Charlie paused, looked straight into the camera, and answered not with a counterattack but with a promise. He announced a new initiative, a nationwide mentorship program connecting underprivileged youth with successful entrepreneurs, regardless of politics. The studio gasped. This was no talking point, it was action. The silence stretched, then the crowd erupted in applause. Even Sunny's lips curved slightly, impressed despite herself. The host of the program leaned back, astonished. The debate that was supposed to be another spectacle had turned into something else entirely, a blueprint for how Americans could disagree passionately yet still work toward common solutions. After the show, backstage, Sunny and Charlie crossed paths. Without cameras or microphones, their exchange was quieter but more meaningful. We don't agree on much, Sunny admitted, but I respect what you're trying to do. Charlie smiled, extending his hand. Thank you. We're stronger when we listen, even when we fight. The episode went viral not because someone destroyed someone else but because viewers saw courage, empathy, and action in real time. For days, the internet buzzed, memes, reaction videos, and think pieces poured out, but tucked among them were messages from people saying it had inspired them to volunteer, mentor, and find common ground. By the end, the story wasn't about winning or losing. It was about transforming conflict into progress, about recognizing the humanity across the aisle. That's why, months later, many pointed back to that night on live TV as a turning point, proof that even in a divided era, people could still surprise each other with empathy and vision. The message was clear and powerful: disagreement doesn't have to be destruction. It can be the spark for something better. And sometimes the boldest move on live television isn't to shout the loudest but to reach the farthest, across divides, toward the people watching at home, longing for hope.